Okay, let's jump into a really specific ancient conversation today.
Right.
We're looking at the book of Job, specifically chapter 22.
hmm
This is where Eliphaz the Temanite, one of Job's friends, gives his view on why Job is going through just immense hardship.
Yeah, it's a fascinating look at one particular argument about, suffering and divine justice back then.
So how does he start? Does he offer sympathy?
Well, that's what's striking. He doesn't really start there. No comfort, no sorry for your loss.
Ah,
No, he immediately questions Job's actual righteousness.
yeah.
It's like his opening questions basically say God doesn't benefit from human goodness anyway, and he definitely wouldn't punish someone truly innocent.
So the implication is if you're suffering like this.
You can't possibly be blameless. That's the core of it, right from the start.
Okay, so if Job isn't blameless, Eliphaz must think he's, well, the opposite.
Exactly. And he doesn't beat around the bush.
That's right to it.
Right to it. He asks Job directly something like, "Is not your wickedness great, or not your sins endless?" Yeah. And then he lists these really specific, quite severe accusations. He paints this picture of terrible deeds that, in his view, would justify this level of punishment.
What kind of deeds are we talking about?
Oh, serious social injustices.
Oh.
Things like taking pledges from people for no good reason, or stripping clothes from the poor,
Okay.
refusing water to the thirsty, withholding food from the hungry. He basically accuses Job of using his power and status to exploit vulnerable people.
Like widows and orphans.
Specifically mentions sending widows away with nothing and crushing the strength of orphans.
Mm.
The key thing, though, is these feel less like I saw Job do this and more like
Deductions.
exactly deductions based on his belief. If the suffering is this bad, the sin must have been equally bad.
That's quite an assumption. He really connects the dots rigidly.
Totally. He says basically, that's why you're surrounded by snares, why sudden terror grips you, why it's so dark.
Mm.
It's direct cause and effect. Your sin caused this punishment, period.
And he tackles the idea that maybe God doesn't see.
Yeah, he addresses that thought. Maybe Job felt God was too far away, too high up to notice. Eliphaz just dismisses it.
Yeah.
He contrasts Job's situation with these evil men who supposedly told God to leave them alone. They might have looked prosperous for a bit, but then, bam, calamity hit them, proving God does see and he does judge.
So the message is loud and clear. God's watching, wickedness gets punished.
Absolutely. He even adds that the righteous will see the wicked ruined and kind of rejoice over it. It's a very black and white view of the world.
Deserving versus undeserving based on how things look externally.
Pretty much. And based on this diagnosis, he offers Job a way forward.
The solution.
The core instruction is, submit to God and be at peace with him. That, Eliphaz claims, is the path back to prosperity.
Okay, so what does that involve?
He lists steps.
Yeah.
Accept God's teaching. Put his words in your heart. Return to the Almighty. Get rid of the wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, he talks about wealth. Tells Job to value God more than gold, suggesting, material stuff isn't the ultimate goal.
Right, God himself is the treasure.
Exactly. The promise is, if you do this, the Almighty will be your gold. You'll delight in God. He'll hear your prayers. Your plans will work out. Light will shine on your way. It's full restoration, plus a deeper relationship.
There's that intriguing line near the end, too, about helping others once you're restored.
Yeah.
Something about...
Ah, yeah. When people are brought low, you can say, lift them up, because God saves the humble.
And then the part about delivering even someone not innocent.
Through the cleanness of your hands.
Yeah.
Yes, that really stands out.
Why is that?
Well, it suggests that if you achieve this state of righteousness, according to Eliphaz, you gain a sort of spiritual influence, enough to potentially benefit even others who aren't quite innocent themselves. It's a powerful claim about personal piety having wider effects.
So to recap Eliphaz's argument in chapter 22 for you, the listener, your intense suffering is direct proof of equally intense hidden sins, probably those social injustices he listed. But there's a fix: total submission to God, valuing him over wealth, living righteously.
And if you do that,
God restores everything: prosperity, answered prayers, success, and you might even help save others through your own restored cleanness.
it's a very clear, if quite severe, system he presents. Suffering equals sin. Righteousness equals restoration and prosperity. Unequivocally.
So this perspective from Job 22 really leaves you with something to think about.
Definitely. It raises that core question. What does it mean, from this viewpoint, to link suffering so directly to sin, to moral failure? And what is this path of submission really promising in return? What part of Eliphaz's argument here resonates with you or maybe clashes with how you see hardship and justice? What really stands out for you?